have kind of hit some rough patches. You've kind of fought back with resiliency, and then there have been a few times where it looks like you're about to take off and haven't quite hit that gear yet. Do you make anything of that, or is that just?
See, I kind of take a little exception with that. I really do. I mean, like every time we lose a game, we can't like say it's like there's a rough patch when we just won a series. I don't understand. I don't get that. I mean, and you win 7 out of 9 series. I get it. We lost. It wasn't a crisp game, but I don't buy into that. I can't support that particular narrative.
Can I?
Hold on, AJ. I'll get back to AJ Cassavell. But that point that Shildt makes there about essentially like it feels like, and I agree with Shildt, where it feels like these big picture questions are asked by the media. And they have a job to do and they've got stories to write. And I know that Kevin Acee writes a lot about the Padres. So Dennis Lin, AJ Cassavell, they do. I love reading their stuff. But it does feel like when there's a loss, when the Padres win a series and they lose the series finale, let's say, it feels like it's a big picture question instead of just asking, okay, what didn't go well today and having it be a today thing. It feels like it ends up being a big picture thing. And that was a big picture question from AJ. And at the same time, like I understand the question, but I'll admit, I do get tired of that a little bit as well, where it feels like a lot of this is big picture stuff when it's 1 of 162. And yeah, Manny made a couple of errors today, and Toddy had that throw that, the ball goes in the dugout after Crony can't get it, and the offense wasn't good. Yeah, it's 1 of 162. The Padres took 2 out of 3 in this series, and I have gotten that feeling as well. I'm along with Shildt here. I have gotten that feeling where it feels like when there's a loss, and yes, today was a bad loss, but when there's a loss, it feels like there's these big picture questions that are asked. And it's like, this is one game. Shildt has already talked about he's already answered big picture things. So I understand how he gets frustrated with this as well. And he's the manager of a team. He wants to be optimistic. And they've won 7 of the last 9. And he'll go in talking about this. So I understand totally where he's coming from with this, with the frustration.
Clarify then, because I don't think this was a rough patch. I think you guys were playing pretty good baseball the last 3 games, and
right.
You haven't necessarily been able to kind of really hit that stride that's taken you guys off this season. I'm just wondering if that roller coaster, in your opinion, is just kind of the nature of the
again. I take exception with this roller coaster. I want to ride every roller coaster I can ever get on winning 7 out of 9 series.
I'll pause that right there. And I agree with that from Shildt. I will do that as well. I will get on any roller coaster that's 7 of 9 series because you got a winning record. But where I think what AJ Cassavell's point was, to be fair to him and to Padres fans that might be disappointed in this team so far, it's you win 7 of 9, but you're 1 game over 500. You didn't have sweeps in there. So it doesn't seem like you're playing amazing baseball because even though you won 7 of 9, some fans don't want to hear that because you're 16 and 12, not whatever it would be if you got a sweep in there or you got a couple of sweeps in there. If you didn't get swept by the Rockies, right?
I'm up for that ride. I'm all on board. Because if you go 6 and 4 the whole season, you win 96 games. So, I mean, I do understand the question. You talk about taking off, but gosh, man, I don't have a great answer for winning 7 and 9 series not being good enough.
Yeah, that was really the comments, and I think there were some fans that were like, he's staying Mr. Positive and denying the baseball that's being played, and people want Shildt to be accountable and say we need to be better. I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure in this press conference here, he admitted that today was not a clean baseball game. But he's also right in saying that not many of those happen. And he's right to say that they've won 7 of their last 9 series. they are, again, like they're a game over 500. It feels like, and it's such an everyday sport, it feels like when fans are reacting to one game, and I'm a fan as well, so I got to put myself in this too. But it just feels like, and social media is not fully, reality. There's fans that don't have it, that don't feel like they have to put their opinion out there about everything. Um, but there's just that feeling like, is this team 10 games under 500? That's what it feels like sometimes. When there's a bad game, 1 of 162, are they 10 games under 500? No, they're not. They're a game over. So I think let's take a deep breath and, realize the circumstances the Padres have been in. And let's realize that. You can be frustrated, but I feel like sometimes it's just too much and too over the top and too far.
Yeah.
Like, how difficult is it to sweep a team?
It's hard. It's the big leagues. It's not easy. I mean, clearly we're ready to go out and to, AJ's point, continue to take off. And we didn't today. Their guys pretty good. Just come off a complete game, threw the ball well. They had some good at bats. They made their plays. Didn't play our best and didn't win a game.
As you point out, these guys are human, right? So these games
course.
happen over the course of 162.
They just do.
So do you just, like, when this game happens, is there things that are addressed, or
what would we address? That's the part and again, I don't want to be, I've admitted the game wasn't clean. I'm not alibying. The game was not clean. Wasn't our best effort. No question about it. What would also be nice if we had conversations about, hey, the team's playing well. They won 7 out of 9. This looks pretty good. They played clean. Bullpen was good. Those kind of questions. So I don't know what I would address to a group that's playing really good baseball that just didn't have their best day. I don't know what to say to that.
And I agree again with Mike Shildt. I mean, like, what is there to address? We want Mike Shildt to address Manny and say, you need to get it together? You think Manny doesn't know that already? Of course he does. What is there to address? Have a team meeting, offense, step it up with runners in scoring position. So I agree with that as well. I understand the question from Kevin. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand, because you're trying to get quotes from Mike Shildt. That's part of your job. I totally understand that. But some of these questions, it's like, well, what do you want Mike Shildt to say? That's all. So I understand both sides, if that makes sense. But if I have to lean on one side today, I'd be leaning on Mike Shildt's side today.